HellRaisers by name, raising hell for North by nature. Welcome back to the Intel Esports Arena. My name is Sims, and boy oh boy, did we just see a very interesting game. Gents, I mean, there's no easy way of saying it apart from that happened.
We know jack shit.
I was going to say I'm naughty by nature, but no, we put our foot in our mouths, basically, didn't we? We thought that would be clear-cut in favour of North, but there was a lot of positives there for that side of HellRaisers. Something, actually decent brand of Counter-Strike that they were bringing out. One of the things which was very impressive, I know Yanko was harping on about it as well, is the fact that once they got those opening kills, they just stood still. When you're on the T side, if you get an opening frag and you have the number advantage, you can want to rush into situations, right? But if you just sit back, if you get that opening kill early enough in the round, what happens is the CTs that usually want to find information, you can find yourself another pick, give yourself a 3v5 scenario. It becomes even easier. And I think there was 9 rounds where they found the first kill on gun rounds, and they converted 8 of them. So they did fantastic at that.
Well, you say you don't know jack shit. You mentioned Angel. Most kills, most damage, most first kills. The man had a blinder of a game. But then again, there were some really big individual standout performances from all the players.
Yeah, I mean, a map like Overpass really does need, and it feeds to players that are like Angel, who's really good at roaming, good at getting information, playing a little bit aggressively. But in the big picture of things, I'm just super impressed, like Chat was saying, just the way of the nature of Counter-Strike that HR was able to showcase us, because I thought it was going to be a bit of a blender, to be honest with you. But
yeah,
it actually looked like they had things were looking really thought out, and the way they even threw some nice fakes in there may have not ended up being as effective as they would have hoped for, but it all looked really trimmed, and things that they had dry ran a lot, and effectively they were just a step ahead. I think North just got up by surprise, to be honest.
Yeah, 11-4 on the T side, Overpass. You don't really see that too often, so that's fantastic for them to be able to pull off that kind of result based off some good individual performances. Like you said, Angel, as an in-game leader, he's one of the more aggressive ones we have in the scene still.
Most aggressive.
He likes to be an entry in-game leader, or even he likes to go entering into areas on his own behind his teammates' smokes and then lurking. So there's a bit of transition there, but to see him in this environment playing well, it's still good to see. We were having a lot of question marks around his mentality coming into this matchup, but I think if North started on the T side, it may have been a completely different picture. The game could have been in North's favor because their T side actually looked pretty good. They had some good executes. The pacing was good. They, obviously when that happens, you can't make too many blunders. And then when those blunders came in, then the game was over because they lost the first half in terrible fashion. If that was the other way around, they started T side, like I'm saying, I think it could have been a different game, maybe going in North's favor.
Yeah, and also I think what really helped HR was the fact that they got the early lead. They started on the right foot and they kept on going on that. So that can be a massive difference maker, especially when you're the underdog in a matchup like this. You win the pistol, and then you get the numbers advantage, or you get the rounds going in your favor in the first 7 or so. I mean, that's a great lookout, and that's the point in time where your opponent has to start taking a risk, and also start a little bit questioning themselves.
And we were singing the praises of Config and Valde in that duo before the game. Valde ended up middle of the scoreboard and Config at the bottom, which you never see as well. So it's like an off night for the two of them. You normally expect them to be running away with it. And on that CT side is where I would be expecting Valde to do a lot of damage. But after that first half, they were bottom 1 and 2. So they didn't have a lot of impact. It was up to the other players to get those 4 rounds on the board for the squad. And I think going into the next match of Cobblestone, we're not going to see the same North. We're going to see a better version of them. But I think they've just been caught a little bit off guard. Not a map that we, necessarily have seen a lot of this version of North. I don't think we've seen it at all.
Yeah.
So maybe one that they haven't practiced enough yet.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's probably what we're looking at here right now.
Nobody on the side of North going positive. But speaking of individual performances, and we did say that we'll see how these guys do. Woxic, 22 and 14, straight away going in there.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the scoreboard, I think the cool thing about HR right now in that matchup, or that match, is the fact that they were actually really, really equal. There's 22 on 3 of the players, if I'm not wrong, and then there was like 15, 16 for the last 2. So that just goes to show it was a team effort. It wasn't like an individual just going off.
I mean, +8, +10, +6, Woxic 0 and Angel. Some big numbers.
Yeah, and it's also very important to point out that Woxic has taken over looks like the primary AWPer position, right? Which used to be Dead Fox's job. So Dead Fox, I remember there being discussion about it during this iteration of the team, the previous iteration, that he didn't actually want to be the primary AWPer. He would prefer to be a secondary AWPer, but there was no one else to really take that mantle. So he was kind of pushed into that role. And we did mention, he's a bit of a sporadic player with the AWP. He wasn't consistent. If Woxic is just going to be the full-time AWPer and he can put up numbers like that and he can have an impact and he knows what to look out for, then that could be good for the team. It might free up Dead Fox. We might see a different version of him as well going forward, which is another exciting prospect for HellRaisers. But in the term for HellRaisers, this is a huge win, right? This is a massive win to keep them out of relegation, because regardless, they might have had a fantastic game then, but and I'm probably put my foot in my mouth again as the season progresses, but this isn't a team that you're going to see anywhere, near the top. Sure, they might end up in the middle if they can keep getting wins like this, but for them, this kind of win keeps them out of relegation, and against a big team like North, everybody, especially us, was expecting a 2-0. Then on the flip side of that, for North, losing a map, that hurts them in the prospect in that race, because we've seen time and time again, this is the 6th season now, every time we get to the last week of play, and a team who has lost a matchup like this early on, it haunts them every time, and they miss out on the finals because, hey, they made a blunder. Hey, they weren't prepared enough. They let a map through the veto that they shouldn't have. They just had an off night. And this is the thing with Pro League. You can't have those off nights.
Yeah, that's what the regular season is all about.
Yeah.
It's about the long run. If you lose those kind of games, it's your own fault. That's about it. But now they're going to a map like Cobblestone, which is home turf for North. So I don't think the outlook is that great for HR. I think that was the one that they had any chance on, and they took it. They took those points they needed, and now going into Cobblestone, I think it's going to be an uphill battle.
I mean, it's a good sign to at least, put them on the back foot, show them.
Oh, yeah,
boys,
yeah.
It's
put them on notice.
That's literally only their second map, 2-0 down to Heroic, 2-0 down to MVS, 1-1 up against Big, but only getting your second map in that many games, it's going to mean a lot to them, and as you mentioned, North, it's a sleeping giant itself. It's a damn good team. We know what they're capable of. Being able to kind of put them on the back foot when we're going into Cobble, it may kind of give them a bit of energy.
If anything, it'll just put more fire in the belly of them, right? And they should come out roaring as the Lions they are. But I think the CT side for this North team is really powerful now, especially with the addition of Valda. Him over towards B-Long, he's such an anchor in that spot. He does it time and time again. He's always going to grab those 2 kills for you. And then I love the setup, the juxtaposition of that over towards A with Config and AZ. I think they actually really play as a duo, and Config could pick up the secondary AWP position. He can be very sporadic with that, go for the pushes, do the stuff that he's known for. They can even leave him there on his own if they need to cheat AZ over. So I think they definitely have the strength there on that CT side.
And on the T side, this is the prototype of what I was talking before, how they're really good at changing pace. They have a lot of different ways to approach around. They have that methodical style of taking over holes, taking over middle, and progressively going towards the A-bomb side and then figure out what they want to do. But then they'll have, like a lot of the times in the last few weeks we've seen them when they play Cobble, they would throw as the first weapon round, they just do like a really, really fast A play, but it would look really coordinated, but it was just super fast. Everything would unfold in the first 45 seconds, and then they just go back to that, more slower way of approaching to it. So yeah, this is definitely a map where I think North will definitely prevail.
Well, we said that before as well, didn't we? That's the thing.
One went.
We never can say 100% or surely. Surely,
100%.
Not surely,
one,
surely.
Yeah.
But I think, with HellRaisers on this one, it sounds a little bit, especially in the Australian accent,
right.
Surely sounds a bit like Shirley. And a Shirley's a girl's name.
Right.
Don't call me Shirley.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I just had to explain myself out of that one. HellRaisers as well, they normally like a faster pace. So I'm interested to see what this iteration of the team, the way they address it. Because like we said, on Overpass, once they got map territory on the Ts, they kind of just stood still and wait for the CTs to push for information. This isn't the same type of map. You can't take the same level of map control and wait for the CTs. You're going right into the den for the CTs. You have to push right in. You have to basically be in the bomb sites to force out any rotation. So they're not going to have that same way of playing the situations unless they have some cool tricks up their sleeve or some cool executes to get people into drop zone. That's the element of this map where you can kind of play that game, where you can get map territory and then wait for the CT rotations. Taking middle, taking A long, it doesn't have the same effect. You're not having as many people moving around. You don't even need to get that information per se on the CT side unless you're really feeling pressured.
Yeah, well, one more thing that I can see being an issue for North is them just coming off of such a great tournament for them in Malmö. Their tanks might be a little bit empty, going straight back to playing these online matches. It's hard. I mean, they are important. These games are very, very important. They treat them as top priority. But still, you've just been in a tournament where you're playing in front of a live audience of like more than 10,000 people. The adrenaline rush you get out of that, and then going back home playing online Counter-Strike, it can become really stale.
We can back that up with some stats. Because North have played in a couple of maps already since coming home. They played LDLC, they went 1-1. They played Kingwin, they won 2-0. These are all best of twos. This is in the ECS Development League, if I'm not mistaken. They played Gambit and went 1-1. And then they played Tricked and went 1-1. Now, Tricked and LDLC are two teams who we would be saying and putting them in this very similar boat as HellRaisers, and they should be copping the 2-0 in those regards. So, yeah, it looks like a bit of, not rust, because they're playing a lot of Counter-Strike.
Just getting complacent.
Yeah, maybe. Or like you said, there's nothing left in the tank, or they need a little bit of a break. But this is the thing, when the on-season's happening, you don't have time for breaks. You need to just suck it up and get it done.
So we've got 60 seconds before this game gets underway. Where do you think I mean, this is a big question.
Is this the dance break?
This is the one. Where do you think this one's going to lie? Do you think we'll see North kind of firing back, or do you think HellRaisers can continue?
I think Norwich is pissed off, dropping the ball on the first map, and Conflict's going to shove him.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of kills.
Didn't have the greatest of games, you know. I mean, 13 to 17, not to call the single man out, but
I'm going to double down on North. Look like a fool twice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Well, we are just about to get this one underway. I believe we have the casters ready to rock and roll and receive this one in the background. So, Pansy, YNK, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Always good to see Chad just, you know, throwing out wild accusations of predictions.
Yeah, really on that fence. I mean, I think he's a bit shaken up after Malmö and the prediction tournament that we had, the trophy
Alex
that
beat
he
him?
made. I'm actually not sure if Alex beat him. I
know, didn't you?
I know Pimp beat us all after Chad, you know, had something to do with the list and with the point system. I ended up from having 17 points after day 4 to having 15 after day, or 14 after day 5, which I don't know how it can happen, you know. So
Sounds
the
legit.
golden boy not very happy about not being on top. But, you know,
Chad's fudging the numbers.
not the first time, not the last time. Just get used to it.
Yeah. Dodgy dealings with Chad. Everyone thinks he's a nice guy. Not
I
the
think
case.
he is a nice guy. He just felt like, you know, the Scandinavians needed to win something at that tournament, so just give
helped him out.
Just give Pimp the prediction trophy, you know.
Oh, that's nice. Well, we'll be going into this one. HellRaisers this time on the T side to begin with.
Lauren,
CT side is North.
They have 2 nades, Lauren. What do
I'm
they need
excited.
nades for? Let's see this.
I'm thrilled. I can't wait. I want to see what happens between Angel and Dead Fox. So they put one smoke out towards Chicken Coop, one nade went in towards stairs, and the other one back towards Chicken Coop. So I guess it forces the players out of the awkward spots when there's USPs up on board. But the problem is that MSL and AZ have still got kills coming in. They've got the players in the right place at the right time as well. And now you're just down to Dead Fox. Again, I don't mind the idea. The idea's good, but the execution, well, doesn't go so well. Cajun B still standing, MSL 2. You're going to have 2 players alive for the north side. And of course, that means the round is theirs.
It's an interesting approach, going for nades over a molly. I think they had a flash each, smoke, flash, nade. I think that's why, you know, obviously if you buy a smoke and a flash, you won't have enough money for a molly. It will still do damage, and it also allows you to run after. You know, if you throw a molly, you can't run down those stairs. Through it, you're going to take too much damage. But they didn't really manage to penetrate the first line of defense, get into that bomb site. They couldn't even get the bomb plant, and because of that, we see a force buy, 3 CZs, P250 and a deagle. Not that much utility, 2 smokes and a flash, and one of them is already flying out towards B platform to deny some vision for Valde.
I actually like this. They've used 2 of the flashes from the north side to gain some sort of CT, not necessarily aggression, but vision. So you had the one towards long to allow Conflict to have a little look. You had the one for Valde looking up towards Plat. And, well, so far, it's not really gotten too much info. HellRaisers have already worked up towards long. Surely Conflict's going to hear this, though. He's going to hear these steps up on long. I'm pretty certain, or at least he'll get contacting towards middle, but he doesn't have instant support. AZ's finally come back around, but they're already at stables. HellRaisers have been quite quick about this. AZ might be in trouble. Yes, they are far ahead of the curve than he expected. MSL's on cleanup duty, trying to keep this round together, but by now, you're left in an awkward spot. You've got the bomb loose. That's one benefit for North, but Dead Fox is close, and he actually might try and push this one. He's trying to get close with that CZ, trying to catch one off guard, and what on earth is Valde doing? He got just absolutely put to bed, and HellRaisers punishing North in a way I didn't think they could.
Do you want to know what happened there, Lauren?
Please make it make sense.
Did you see any of the CTs have like a 2v1 fight?
No.
No, they all had like at best a 1v1 fight, and that was AZ close range versus a CZ that was Config actually had a 1v2, he fell 1-for-1. MSL on the rotate did manage to get 2 kills, but then he was immediately traded, and it was just a bunch of 1v1s at best for the CTs. That's not something you want to see, especially when you have the utility, the weapons advantage. I feel like one of the A players should have played more aggressive towards A holes, at least for info. If Config is that close mid, AZ can be on, you know, the half of A holes, and as soon as he hears utility or sees players, that's when he falls back. This way, they were both isolated and dealt with a force buy from HellRaisers that I really didn't think is going to achieve all that much. They had 2 smokes and a flash.
Again, HellRaisers surprising us. Maybe not, you know, to the same degree as winning the map, but turning around in situations that really do help them in the long run here.
I don't know if North is perhaps a little bit frustrated because of that loss, but they need to be aware that I think without a doubt they're the better side when it comes to cobblestone. So, you know, just let things cool down a little bit, reset mentally, not do anything crazy, and they should come out on top. This is the way HellRaisers can win this game, though. Winning like force buys, getting early control of the economy. That kill took a bit longer than expected, but what's important is that you get it.
And they did.
Doesn't matter how messy or clean, need to get that kill.
And well, Config got his. Zero's gone down. It's probably back to an even situation, but the weaponry's still so poor for North, and obviously an off-plant situation plays well. And Dead Fox apparently can just jump and gun. No worries for him. AZ, though, going to try and do anything he can to save the day, and that's not going to happen. HellRaisers, you know what? As said, not pretty, not beautiful, not exactly what you'll be writing home about nor remember for the next upcoming years, but it's still 2-1 on the board. They put the money in the complete dumpster for North, and well, I'm worried the North are going to get frustrated by this and then kind of lose a little focus. Because as I said on the desk, you know, these early results, especially against teams like HellRaisers, really should be your kind of easier wins.
Absolutely, and you can also see the difference from Overpass. That's where North didn't fully force in the second round after losing Pistol. Here, after getting reset, they go for that force buy. And North is one of those teams that even in previous iterations of the lineup wasn't really that good at force buying with pistols, and eventually they were aware of it and they just stopped doing it. They were ecoing and focusing more on the gun rounds, which did yield some success for them. This time around, different decision was made, and now they're all on USPs. You can see Voxic knows it. Just stayed on the Deagle. No reason to invest into anything. He can just buy the op next round.
Yep, absolutely. And he can let the others do what they want. Voxic, he does get found, which is a bit awkward, isn't it? Yeah, that's not what you want to see. 2 kills coming in with USPs, but you shouldn't... Oh, the bomb's in... That is...
It's a USP, no armor. Surely not.
Dead Fox.
He gets another kill with it. So this is amazing for North. Doesn't matter that they had UMPs and just the Deagle. You even, you know, as long as you can do any damage, you have to rebuy armor, you have to rebuy nades. That's 2k you do. 2k in damage. On top of that, another 8k. That's 4,700.
Yeah, without Angel doing what he did that round, you've got to feel that could have gone so much worse. He got 3 kills then, so...
Look there by now, Lauren. FAMAS, UMP, 3M4s. To be fair, they do have a decent amount of utility, but only 1 kit on MSL.
Yeah, this they are suffering in the long run. It does feel like North are trying to keep this together as best they can. It is very fragile right now.
And that kit is actually very important. Cobblestone is one of those maps when it does take you a fair amount of time to rotate from one side to another. You know, those retakes usually go down to the wire more often than not. We see some aggression towards A-Long from Config. Doesn't see anyone. That's the problem on this map, on the CT side. It's so difficult to go for some aggressive plays, get map information.
But they were one of the original teams that I really like to look at, especially on that B side. CT side, you'd have the kind of deep smokes from Magisk and the setup then play for KGB. But already, as soon as they go for that instant little bit of a look there, you know, get the flash in for Config. If he doesn't see anything, he likes to get aggressive or solos it out. That time he got aggressive rather than soloing, and AZ's still there, but giving up that first kill for nothing. Again, North were one of those teams who were very good at getting CT side information in the previous iteration. KGB's AWPing up on Plat was just brilliant. The deep smokes used to really keep the T side forced all the way back. But right now they're struggling on this, and they're down to 4. And now HellRaisers, well, they haven't really committed anywhere yet. They're edging towards B, obviously, but taking their time on this.
Yes, and this is where the approach will be interesting to see from HellRaisers. They really were slow, and they would cut noise on overpass, waiting for North to be aggressive themselves. But Cobblestone is a different map, and we see them aggressive towards drop, stopped by the smoke for now.
Yeah, they're down to 20 seconds. Yeah, the time is ticking, and they need to make their move pretty fast. Now, they're going to put the most eggs in the basket, I guess, of pushing out Plax. That's all they've got left. Angel will deliver towards MSL, but there's still 2 players here. KGB could stop this, but look at the time. They're down to 7 seconds. KGB just needs to deliver. Oh, Issa might save this one. Bomb plant can go in now. I'm pretty certain that was close, but they do get it through. But the HP is low, but not low enough here, really. AZ might be able to take 1-2 with him, but you've got to feel there's 4 players against him. Just that 1 too many, really. Don't completely back off from this, please, HellRaisers. There we go. I was getting a little worried when I saw them all backing away.
I mean, Zero is already in T-spawn, and 2 of his teammates on the site are low, but no dramas here. Voxic closes out the round, but the MVP of that round was definitely Issa. I'm not sure if he saw his first kill on the stream, but that was a crazy flick towards the block. This one, that's a big kill. He got dinked, and after that, he just saves his teammate. And you can't really blame Voxic here for, you know, just going for the plant, because they don't have that much time. If he stops to clear the bomb site, you know, even if he gets the kill, maybe doesn't have enough time to plant the bomb. So that was a good call from him. Issa, with the presence of mind to cover him, and by the skin of their teeth, or
I
nails, or teeth, they managed to win the round, Laura.
That was actually really good work from you. So I'm actually impressed with these two new players. Woxic and Issa have come in and you really complemented this lineup so far.
Yeah,
I don't
they're
know.
doing all right for now.
Yeah, I don't know if I can say that's just North being bad and kind of being exploited by these guys coming in, but we'll see. It's still early on in this. Config has found finally room to move. Somehow gets away, and Woxic's left scratching his head after I say something nice about him. He's just going to let that happen, but Issa's there. It's fine. He makes up for it, so there's no gun kept away. And North now left with the 4 players. They do have a couple of deagles, bits and pieces.
I mean, seeing as how it's an anti-eco round, we can talk about something else a little bit here. It's interesting to see the approach of these teams. It's happening for a while now. I mean, HellRaisers were the ones who started it with bringing in Oscar to the lineup and Dead Fox, Tico Zero, all these guys. Picking up players, young and upcoming players. Okay, Oscar not that young, but he wasn't playing for any of the top teams. Players from FPL, right?
Yep.
These very skilled players mechanically and individually, instead of going for some more experienced players that you already have from that scene, right? I mean, people forget HellRaisers were a purely CIS lineup, and they didn't go for someone like Kucher, for example. Where's Kucher? Kucher's nowhere to be found, and he was a member of all these lineups a while back. And there are surely a couple of other players as well. So then you see Mouse Sports, same type of a thing. G2 with the old lineup that is now FaZe, and so forth. So I think it shows that teams have really started to shift from going with the same players and hoping they will change, or change some tendencies, or that their personalities will change. It's just giving a chance to the new guys, to the young bloods. I mean, we got a player from Jordan over here. Obviously, an esports country. We have Miracle in Dota and GH, both amazing players. So maybe Issa is the miracle of Counter-Strike.
Just got that, the high elo farming, the MMR kid just coming in. But we'll see if he can live up to the old miracle sort of name tag. If you attach that to someone, that could be pretty high praise. We'll see. It could be pretty cool. HellRaisers, though, massive posture towards B this time. No fakes, no presence towards A. It's everyone towards B, and this is nice. I like the switch up. Valde, they're going to find Angel and follow towards Zero. That's big. They cut off one of the 2 approaches here. And Valde's yet to really been found out either. No one's been able to trade on him. These smokes are keeping them just at bay. But we'll see if he can keep this going. Still one more player towards drop, 2 towards Plat. Lovely work from Valde. This is the guy you want to be seeing really starting to become that headliner. Good flash as well. Allows him more room to work. And no one can stop him just yet. So 4 kills for him, an integral round. If we have a little quick look at that scoreboard as well, I think we were being highlighted. A couple of the players not having the best of starts here, but that round was good. It gets them maybe starting to feel out the game a bit. Good to have one player do something quite imperative and maybe turn the tide.
Yes, and that's those are his first 4 kills of the game as well, but that's why a player like Valde can be so beneficial. He doesn't get caught off guard that much by these explosive plays from HellRaisers. You could see how they got the kill onto Cajun. He wasn't even, aware that he could be killed from drop. And the problem was the players from platform weren't really on par with their teammates. As we see Config fall, trying to get an early pick with the AWP. Maybe he's been a bit more frustrated than the rest of his team. Died already once on A long, now trying to find an advantage for his team in mid. That's very common now. You might argue, yeah, like he got spammed, but that's a very common spam spot. You can see MSL going for that AWP, gets lit.
Yeah,
He's lit.
He is lit,
you have to say it more than once, Lauren.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm just not down with the kids anymore. I'm essentially like 40 years old when I hear these things.
Yeah, that's what Moses does when he wants to sound young.
Yeah, bless him. But the point is that there's a lot of lineups for that stuff now. I think it was JDM. I was watching, has this crazy lineup that perfectly with an AWP can get the spot by the door. So it's, again, you can't get away with it. But this is what I wanted to see. Cajun B on the platform, but he doesn't have the deep smokes. He's very much on his own here. He's got support from the back of drop by the door, but Valde now has to pull himself way closer. And again, the HellRaisers are really bringing pressure throughout this map. You get a bit of a pick towards A. They're still splitting over towards B. 1 down drop, 3 towards Plat at the moment. And now you're down to 30 seconds. They're leaving these hits pretty late as well. They are making them guess here. And AZ doesn't want to fully commit either. You can see him a little hesitant to leave middle. As soon as he gets this little bit of info, that might keep him guessing or maybe keep MSL here. But maybe they've read this well. Now with the flashes coming in, they know it's going to be this B hit. And we should see Valde, AZ, and everyone else locking this down. There shouldn't be any more threats. They shouldn't get past this.
And again, Valde showing why he is a great addition to the team. A couple of, I don't want to say gambles from HellRaisers in that round. After they had the advantage, they throw 3 mollies on that B platform once they chase Cajun away, right? Which is a tell that they are most likely going to end around B. They stop, they wait for Zero to lurk towards mid. He dies, but calls 2 players. That allows Angel to get out of window, but then he also dies, doesn't do anything. At that point, everyone's focused on the remaining 3 players on platform. You can see Valde, how he was on point yet again. So maybe don't try to go for anything, you know, too crazy. Don't overthink things. You have the advantage. Try just to push that advantage, but AZ is pushing something else.
Yeah, 3 of his own kills, just pushing it right in their faces. There's no way they can avoid that
Pushing
one now.
that AK right down their throats, Lauren.
Absolutely. Angel now having to try and pick up the pieces, but it might be a little bit too late for this. I don't know how much they can pull off here. They do have the 2v2 on the B site for now, and that's a great hit from Angel. He's down to 11 HP, but he's still trying to do the work he can. Molly out towards Statue. They know there's players there, but now the rotates have come in. North of 3 men towards this side. Woxic is out, but I'm pretty sure those players going towards drop, they're aware that's a possibility, playing on the very edge of that smoke. They still have time, but 1 flash remains. Just put into play for Woxic now. How much can this one man do? He does take down the first. Ooh, second. Could have happened, but no. Valde again. A bit of a rock here, really. The backbone of North at this point. It wasn't his round to start with, that was AZ's, but he certainly controlled this threat. And again, for a player who's having a very bad start, it doesn't seem like he was tilted or frustrated. He's come right back out, and he's decided to deliver these kills.
He's got 9 kills in 3 rounds, Lauren. It's like he had 0 in the first 6, and also AZ obviously with a very important hold towards mid. That's what you love to see. AZ, who's been getting a lot of criticism in a very long time now. I mean, I've even given my fair share of criticism to him. It's just that from his time way back in Dignitas, he's been the hottest Danish talent we've seen, and ever since he joined FaZe first, we haven't seen that level of performance from him. So everyone's wondering what happened to AZ.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see more from him in the future. Hopefully there is that bit of a rise back. But right now what we're seeing is Issa tearing people apart with that CZ. There's only one man really to stop this at the moment. And actually tell a lie, AZ's turned up on the scene. You say his name and he shall appear. Now Zero's left in the 1v3. Unlikely, as it seems. No guns really that close to get to hand. He's trying to maybe grab one, I think, there. But no. Config was watching in the end. The double ops are paying off, but I don't think it's really the double ops doing it. It's mostly been AZ doing well over by A. He's shut that down. And Valde as well, controlling by B. Now it looks like HellRaisers have hit a bit of a brick wall at this point.
True, but they've been very close in all of these rounds. I mean, look at this round. They have a full execute. They get rid of the first guy. Issa gets another kill, but where's the rest of the team pushing and trying to get rid of Cajun, right? We saw a player, I'm not sure who it was, on platform with a CZ trying to duel Cajun. What is that? What's your thought process right there? Run in. At least what you can do, if you can't get to Cajun, you can maybe get the kill on AZ. AZ did a great job of just pushing through those smokes, not being stopped, and really helping out Cajun and closing out the round. If he hides behind the smokes and leaves Cajun to himself, Cajun dies, they get the off, they get the bomb down, 3v2 or 2v2, whatever. HellRaisers are in a better position, so great call from AZ to run in and help his teammate out.
They've gone for the 3-man stack towards A. Now, you know, it's a gamble, right?
Yeah, this is just a read. This is because you can't go for many mid-round plays. So what we see a lot of the times is teams just trying to get a correct read and gambling a third player towards that A bomb side. Config is not really having a good game, is he?
Why is he playing Electric with an AWP?
That's another good question, Lauren. Back to you.
I expect you to break this down on the desk.
You know,
but
I'm not really sure.
No.
Obviously, go for that long range. Also, Lauren, why are both ops in the B bomb site? You know, a lot of question marks here for North. Maybe MSL didn't realize Config had an op as well.
God.
You know, it was just like, go drop, but I have an op. Go drop, I said.
It just cracks the whip. Now, the problem is that whip might come right back around because look at this. They've pressured towards A. HellRaisers got the kill. Now they're actually backing from this because look at Angel's positioning. He can be the linchpin. He can deny this. If he gets out of Electric and maybe even gets closer towards Rock, it's going to be so hard for them to do anything. Cajun B might be able to get the kill, but by then they know they've got the site. Now, Angel's going to back off from this. So that will give Cajun B a chance, a very slim one, but a chance, and he's going to take it. One chance is all he needs, and no second shot to follow, but he's done well. At least he knows the game plan now. Angel unable to do much. Who would have thought it? Don't use the AWP towards drop, and look at this playback from MSL. It's all him coming back in this one. And now Deadfox in the 1v2. What is this round? It's down to the 1v1, but AZ, speaking of ones, only has 1 HP, and he's been taken away from him. Deadfox reminds us this game isn't always this crazy, and he does what is required. But what was that round?
Where the hell was everyone going? Like, what was that? Oh, look, we got the kills, and he's going with the op towards drop. And then Isa as well, caught in the middle of nowhere. You got the numbers advantage, boys. Plant the bomb, play it passive, wait and see what the CTs are going to do. You don't have to push that advantage any further. And sure, deadfox still bails them out. They win the round, but they lose a lot of players. And look at their money now. If they lose this round, back to the eco, most likely.
Yeah, both
Config
teams.
still with that op, of course.
Yeah.
Back to A. Maybe drop isn't the best position on the map to take the AWP. Let's see what's going to happen on A this time around.
It is strange seeing config like this. You know, before this kind of peak he's had recently, everyone, you know, there was a little bit of a moment where it was like, is he up to, you know, scratch on this? Is he one of those players that can control his emotions? But for now, we'll see if he can recover into this, because he might have a very good shot at it here. AZ playing by that tree spot. Pretty OP at times, but completely destroyed by deadfox. Now Config's feeling uncomfortable. He has no presence towards long anymore. Flashed out by the stables. This is good for maybe one if they pressure in the right times, and he gives away his spot now. Doesn't hit the shot, and MSL is there to try and bail him out, and that's just uncomfortable. Nothing to be done as soon as AZ goes down. You know he is so vulnerable now. Zero's going to punish even further. Takes MSL down as soon as he tried to get close, but Valde is being such a nuisance here. One more bullet will do it from Zero, and it does connect. 3v1 now. Cbble spots out the bomb, but doesn't hit the shot, and that'll be all HellRaisers. But yeah, this is looking awkward so far.
It's looking quite awkward, to be honest. And also frustrating for North. The round before, they had a stack towards A. Now they go back towards B. HellRaisers end up pushing A. The problem is, yet again, it's like just two players playing for themselves on A. You know, why don't they take a risk and, okay, let's just focus on mid, or let's just focus on A long. Rarely will you see teams go with 5 players just towards one of the two, right? This time it was mid, where the brunt of HellRaisers were coming from. But I think if you're playing, you would much rather lose a round because you made a bad guess than trying to cover everything, and you're not going to be able to do that. If they go for a 3-2 split, there's no way you're going to hold by that. It has to be an insane play, and the T's have to make a pretty big blunder. So you should just try it and play the percentages, right? You're going for the play that's most times going to win you the round. You don't go for the, okay, so if A, B, and C happen, I'm not going to win the round. But if D happens, if that one thing happens, this is going to save me, you know? You never want to be in that situation.
Well, right now, the D plan is going towards Cage and B. It's all going towards Cage and B, should I say. Actually, maybe deadfox is going to drop, but Cage has fallen back to one of those new spots, and the molly doesn't quite reach. Obviously, that's towards the stairs, so he could do something. AZ's finding kills, so again, I don't know how it happens like this. He's been able to get a lot of time here. What is going on? AZ's found Zero as well. It's just deadfox. How does this happen? 30 seconds left. The bomb's not planted. deadfox is kind of screwed here, unless he just goes man mode, and he is. He's just going to plow right on through and just gets absolutely wrecked. What?
Well, what can you say about that one? Just some 6 shots from AZ from sight with the USP, and then Cajun from that Joker position, so to speak. What was his second kill? He's just like destroying them with the USP, like just tapping away, getting all the headshots, and then Cajun with a surprise peek gets 2 kills of his own.
I don't know what to say sometimes. This game is a bit curious, isn't it?
I mean, you could argue, yes, they should have just pushed out together and blah, 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 blah. But to be honest, that's just a hell of a play from AZ. He hit some 6 shots to be able to kill 2 players like that with just a USP. Long range, great aim from him. And obviously, after he gets 2 kills, you know, they all focus towards him. That's what allows Cajun to explode and get a kill of his own. Picks up the gun, picks up the smoke. deadfox is aware of the time. There was maybe 30 seconds left on the clock. If he waits out the smoke, probably not enough time to deal with both players and plant the bomb or something along those lines. So a huge round from North. It should have been 8-5 for HellRaisers and a pretty weak buy for North if they decide to go for it. But instead, it's a half buy for HellRaisers, and North are back on track.
Yeah, there's been a lifeline given out here for North to come back into this half. It did seem like HellRaisers were the dominating factor in the entirety of this, leading for the vast majority and showing some real potential. A couple of individual mistakes that have kind of made us scratch our heads, but The two players I'm looking at are Valde and AZ, who've really turned up. Not exactly the players I'd instantly look at either. I'm still new to seeing Valde in this roster, of course, but it does seem as though that kind of nice little ace split's going to be coming in. Maybe 3 towards drop or just 2, and then the late play around the back. As Woxic and Zero will be working their way up towards middle. I'm not sure if they can be able to isolate that many. It's hard to get through middle. That's the main thing. If Woxic and Zero do get this far, if they don't split up long, it's hard to deal with people like AZ here. But MSL could be overrun, and that's the one weak spot. That's where maybe there are some sort of weaknesses in the armor. But AZ is there very quickly. They've pulled him away, but he's so on point here. Doesn't seem flustered, doesn't seem overwhelmed. He gets the job done, 3 kills.
This is what you love to see if you're a North fan. You know, AZ performing. This is the second time we see him get a big triple kill. And this is what you wonder, like, where was this AZ? You know, this is not anything, you know, this has nothing to do with anything besides your aim and you being, like, on point individually.
Yep.
There's nothing in terms of roles or whatever that would stop him from, you know, having rounds like these. So this is something that's going to be a consistent thing in the future. It's a great sign for North.
Ooh, Valde, how far is he going on this? Is he just in between the smoke for now? Yes, he is. So I was wondering if he was going to do something insane, then maybe some deep flashes might have done something a little bit more than expected. But they probably know the money's a little bit limited, so putting Valde up there is not a bad shout, but they have got 2 Molotovs on HellRaisers, so they can clear this. But generally they've been mollying out the stairs and these sort of things, so he might get away with this. But for now, HellRaisers are vastly stacking out towards drop rather than plat. 4 players there, or 3, tell a lie. Issa might not commit to this, but one who has committed was deadFox, but he trades out. Zero will manage to take down his killer, but it's Angel to break ahead, but there's still Valde. This is a bit of a difference here. The molly's still burning around him. There's 2 players just on the verge, and now they've broken through. HellRaisers finally get a bit of a clean break in this. And it doesn't look too likely for Config as of late, but maybe he's going to show us a little something. Issa's on the other side of this, and Config just not going to hit it, is he? Well, it will be at least HellRaisers just about chipping ahead, just at the very end, but an 8-7 half. This has been a very back-and-forth game.
It's still way better than what I at least expected from HellRaisers. You know, even after losing the pistol round, they managed to bounce right back with the force. Yes, a couple of messy rounds from their side as well, but, you know, all in all, they probably should be happy with this scoreline.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do coming into the second half, bear in mind. It's not all over yet for either side. North's starting to wake up. We're seeing individuals starting to find their form. AZ being one of them, not exactly a name you often see being discussed, but we are all ready and waiting to see it come through for him. But guys, do stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment. (8-7) on the half. North certainly bringing the game back, but I've got to say, credit where it's due. I did not expect HellRaisers to bring this level of performance. They've turned up individually and as a collective, and we actually might have a bit of a game on our hands here. We'll see if they can keep this going in this half. However, North, we saw before, their T-sides look far more robust. It looks like they can definitely bring a lot more creativity and a little bit more of what we'd expect from them on this side.
True, but this is a map that North has definitely practiced, unlike Overpass, and they're going to be much better prepared especially on the T side. That's what they've been notorious for a very long period of time, even back when they were Dignitas, even when they were perhaps not the top 10 team in the world. Their Cobblestone was always regarded as one of the best out there. They have such a good understanding of the map. They have great timings. That's the thing. I think all the teams understand, yes, we need map control or we need to take A holes, but some teams are just too slow in doing it. And, you know, they take map control, but they end up not having enough time to go for that execute and actually plant the bomb. North is able to do that much more decisively, perhaps, and then they have enough time to go for fakes, to go for full-on executes, whatever they want. So, obviously, for that, it would be much beneficial for them if they could win the pistol round. And we'll see if they'll be able to do so.
Well, Zero is the one going to be put to the task first of all. AZ's just running ahead. Zero runs away as fast as he can. Keeping tabs on this, they haven't just yet moved. Now, I like this from Zero and Woxic. They aren't getting, you know, too antsy about this. They haven't called for that instant rotate. They're holding on, and rightly so. Look at Valde and Cbble. Neither of those players are joining over by A just yet. They're holding off by B, maybe waiting to see if there's a stack, bit of a tension here, but North are going to continue with this pressure towards A. They have made Angel move now. Issa and Deadfox actually falling for this as well. Oh, this could be brilliant from North. Look at Cbble and Valde. They were just walking straight out. At the end of the day, all you wanted towards that A hit was just to get a bit of a nuisance play, and it's been more than that. But the retake now becomes something of a task.
Absolutely. The problem is, like, that's a huge committal to that fake. You're sending 3 players. Now it's a 2v4 situation. Alrighty then. Jumping USP headshot from Angel. Why not Dedication in a 1v4? Can he pull it off? 1v3 now. Both 3 players with full HP almost. They have... A kit was on Dead Fox. They haven't picked it up. Cajun gets 2. Cajun gets 3. What a round from Daddy Cajun.
Daddy Cajun has just absolutely smashed them. That's brilliant stuff.
That's why Cajun B is always on top, Lauren. That's why he's the one getting boosted.
Honestly... Damn. You know, it's been a while since we referred to him as, like, the cleaner, right? He was the guy when it was, like, the Astralis TSM days. He was known as the cleaner. You'd put him into these situations, he'd somehow come out as the victor, but that's ridiculous. That was so well done.
And
Nice
that's gutting
work.
for HellRaisers.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have gotten that great start, get things rolling early on, but you just get punished. And can't even say they made a blunder, you know. They went more or less together. It was just Cajun with some crisp aim, multiple headshots.
What can you do against that? HellRaisers put back in their place almost here. So we're going to see a little bit of a drop piece coming through from Valde, just individually working his way out there. Just clears it out well. But that's what HellRaisers are up to. They do have the CZs. They've got a bit of armor. I say a bit. They've got a lot. They've got head armor too. 1 smoke left on Zero. And that's it. Everything else is just firepower alone. Now, North looks like they're on that jump-off point towards B. They have committed quite substantially. They've got all players here. MSL was watching the back for a second, but this could get a bit tricky. Angel's actually backing away from drop. I'm not sure if they're just getting into their own heads here, but Dead Fox finding conflict should surely mean that Angel comes back around. I don't know if Dead Fox and Issa can do more, but maybe. We saw Issa's pretty handy with that CZ, and, well, so far it's Valde and Cbble putting up numbers. That's them keeping this situation well and truly within check. Nothing going astray this time. Losing out on 2 is far more than enough already. You don't want to get any more risks happening.
And you can see how the fact that North just cut all noise and they were just holding towards that B platform made Angel second guess his call. He started rotating towards that A bomb site just slightly, and then North just pounced, got the trade kills against the CZs that were close by. Very important for them to throw that flash. If they didn't throw the pop flash, 2 CZs close by could do a lot of damage. Wouldn't be the first time we see it, but North were on point in that round.
I like that from Woxic as well. Baiting 2 bits of sound there as well. The audio cues just nicely done. Just jumping off. Again, trying to fake out that he went over the other side. So he might be able to get a gun away from this. I don't know if he's going to be hunted down just yet. MSL's still lurking around trying to spot him out, and he could have run all the way to B for all MSL knows, and he wants to be cautious. He doesn't want to give it up, but no, in the back, MSL, nicely timed. Good presence of mind from him. Now, that was pretty costly considering there was a fair amount invested there from North. That could have been good for them to keep control of any guns coming into this one, but then again, it's only going to be against the cleanest of pistols. There won't be much investment here coming out from HellRaisers.
I mean, after that pistol round clutch from Cajun, you're just happy to be in a position where you're not the one force buying, feels like. So, yeah. Against the USPs and a P2000 on Woxic, we see Config and Valde on Mac 10s. They want to farm that cash. Config, maybe feel a little bit better about himself. He hasn't had a great game so far, getting punished multiple times. But he's holding out for that flank.
Yeah, Issa trying to live up to the easy challenge. Not going to happen. At least not to the same degree, but Zero's up for it, finds Valde. These rounds, these USPs are doing damage. That's the impressive thing in my eyes, that they're actually getting kills in a nice roundabout way. But AZ is the one to be padding the stats here more than anything. And that's not a bad thing to see either. If he gets confident too, that would be brilliant. Now, let's look at the purchase HellRaisers can scrape together. It's not going to be pretty, though, so we'll see what they can do. Woxic does get an AWP up at least, but no armor to supplement it. Good utility on Dead Fox Angel, but they've had to forego having the full M4 purchase. So again, trying to spread the money out as best they can.
Absolutely, and you can see Woxic doesn't even have enough money for armor, just a smoke and an AWP. And North is grouping towards that B bomb site. Probably that set execute we see from them very often. Let's see if HellRaisers have an answer for it.
It's going to be pretty to the point here from North. Flashes go up and over. First man in, going to be Config. Not exactly having the best of his games that we've seen from him. Normally a bit of a powerhouse at doing this, and Dead Fox so far is on the receiving end. Going to take up the kill towards... I'm sure that was Dead Fox there, kind of softened up by Easy, but Easter's still holding firm. That's Cbble down, who's been a bit of an MVP, and this is a 4v4 still. Bomb has gone in, but it's MSL tipping the scales. He's the one to push forward. He's the one to make the odds happen. But there's Woxic and there's Zero. How much more can you do? Woxic taking more steps through here. This gets risky with that AWP. Going to be hearing him scoping in and out here. Not sure if he can isolate anyone, and now MSL gets played into a well. Brilliant stuff from MSL in this round. 4 kills for him.
That was a save round, Lauren. That was a save round. MSL is pushed far up. That means they can just go for a contact play. He can bait his teammates out, get the trade kill, and it's very important when that B execute comes in for the CTs to be on the same page in the site. You could see that Folk was playing in front of the smoke. His teammate was, on the fence. Once he got shot at by Config, he fell back. So they lose a player there for nothing. And you can see how North has a plan for that execute. MSL gets right up to the edge of that smoke, waits for a pop flash or just for good timing to grab that wide peak. And those 2 kills from him were pretty much what secured the round for North. And HellRaisers didn't really have a good way to deal with that execute. I thought they could hold it once the pop flash came in. It really bought a lot of time. They could have sent multiple players in front of the smokes and then maybe won the fight. They also had an incendiary thrown, but this is where, if the communication is not entirely on point, or if you hadn't have enough time to establish those protocols for that situation, you can really get punished for it by an experienced and well-regimented team like North. So probably looking at 8-12 scoreline in favor of North.
Yeah.
That's why Cbble is a difficult map to play on the CT side, especially when you're on the back foot.
Isa
Okay.
is
I'll
meant
shut
to
up.
be on the back foot here, but maybe not. Maybe he's got a little bit more in the tank. But 2 kills, I think, is more than enough. Dead Fox, I don't know how he's done this. How does he even get his hand on AWP? It just makes me nervous. But I've got to say, Isa's firepower has been pretty fun to watch so far. But back to your point, though, I think you're absolutely right on this map. It is very, very punishing, especially for teams who don't quite have it all together yet.
It's not like Cash where you can just pop flash into A main and then get some sort of control going, or maybe go for a squeaky push. If you try to go for a peek through A holes like we saw Config in the first half, you can get punished very easily for it. If you want to go for map control, it will involve a lot of utility being used, but we see North now switching the pace, going straight up middle.
I like this. Switch up the pace. As said, get in their faces, keep them on their toes, don't let them get comfortable. And Woxic missing a sitter, but he goes back for seconds, and he will have his fill. Gonna take down MSL, but it's still a 3v3, and Valde's got himself towards side, but it's a bit uncomfortable because Woxic's still there. Isa's able to isolate a 1v1 as well if he can get the shot off in time, but no. Cbble and now Config can support him, and the bomb can be planted. Keeping away those last 2 players, Issa and Dead Fox can't really find an easy way in now. The AWPs are set up in place, one with Cbble, of course, and the other 2 riflers can now just supplement the site, create the crossfire in the after plant, and that's it. HellRaisers this time do call for the save.
Yeah, and this is something that North are notorious for, right? They really love to change up that pace, maybe catch their opponents off guard a little bit, and this is very important to do it, to go for it, to try it, even if it doesn't work, because just the fact that you can do it, that you can go for it, forces your opponents to play in a certain way, right? HellRaisers cannot allow themselves to save a smoke for mid, or maybe to hold that incendiary off, because if you're playing close up and you don't use it and they just do this, you're going to get wrecked and you're going to lose the round. So it enables North to do something else down the line, right? It enables them to go for a later execute because you're forcing them to use their utility early. That's going to make it more difficult to deal with perhaps an A split if you do it later on in the round, or a fake or whatever. So you really, the reason you do it is obviously you want to try and win the round, but you also want to force some reactions from them. And we see HellRaisers trying to adapt themselves a little bit, boosting Isa up the drop room.
Oh, this could be nice. Valde, what?
Get banged. Even knifed his teammate. Valde just doesn't care. I mean, he definitely didn't expect him, but just manages to flick onto his head straight away. And that was the rifle gone. You know, if he gets the kill, he can even drop the M4 to his teammate, down drop, pick up the AK, 5v4, 3 guns, 2 CZs.
Oh, that's
Valde
pretty
says
gutting.
no, though.
Yeah, Valde says a big no to that.
No magic for Isa.
Now, Dead Fox, I guess, is your last and only line of defense really here for HellRaisers. You've got 3 players towards A. All those players have the CZs.
He's never going to win the round from there, though. You know, he's not going to get more than a kill or 2. Especially against North, probably going to use utility for it. But let's see, maybe he proves me wrong. Blind.
He does take the shot in the second. He does get the bomb, and he does swing out and got found by Config.
It's very difficult to find a lineup and get like multiple kills. It has to be something ridiculous, like them not checking it, and then you wait for one to start playing the bomb and kill him, and you get a couple more kills, and you're safe on that platform area. If you want to try and win the round, you need to be somewhere where you can get a cheeky kill, but then rotate perhaps to the other bomb site. You know, you have to be active all the time. This is a very static position, and if they have a full team, you're never going to win the round from that spot. Sick shot.
Why are you like this? Just knifing his teammate on the way down, just happy. But 14-8, yeah. I think this is kind of starting to fall to what we'd expect. The T side from North. It's always meant to be this good. It feels that they may not even be at their peak right now. I think that's very easy to say considering how Overpass went, but you can always fall back to this. This is something the North should always have almost intrinsic to their playstyle now. We haven't really seen an answer yet. We've seen a couple of rounds, but HellRaisers' money's been pretty trash too, so it's going to be tricky for them. Dead Fox to be pushing up towards Plat again, though, but the pressure comes in towards A-Long, and, well, MSL just simply outdoes Zero. You know, Sponge's man is not having the best of performances.
Yep. Chad with yet another jinx. But the problem here is for HellRaisers, they need to be able to win consecutive rounds because North has good bank, and that's very difficult when you can't really switch things up that much on the CT side, right? Your opponents will be able to adjust without much difficulty. And another kill, this time from Config onto Voxic. That's the upper down. Angel tries to make a play. MSL just gets rid of him as well, and now they're going to walk into an MTA bomb site. Should be another save call for Isa and Dead Fox.
Yeah, this seems very comprehensive now for North. They're just going through what they know how to do, and they look good at it. And I'm glad we get to see this because, as said, it's been very shaky for them after the back of Malmo. They had one of the better results recently, going incredibly far in the tournament, and then just kind of falling off. Now, Dead Fox can't even stay alive, neither can his teammate at that point. So, again, very costly, and it's now North on 15. They've kind of proven the point that, look, yeah, we're a bit off point, maybe a little worn out after the event, maybe partied a little too much, maybe just burnt out a bit, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty intense, these schedules. But still, you've got to do it. You've just come back from a holiday. Everyone else is doing it. Get ready to deliver. You can't just have those one-off events and just, you know, suffer through online. You've got to be consistent in this. And North, well, this is maybe a bit of a reminder. Again, how many times have we seen teams suffer at the end of the season because of dropping one map or having one, disappointing game? It can really come back to haunt them.
True, but on the other side of things, if HellRaisers are going to play like this, especially on Overpass, North is not going to be the only team that's going to lose to them over the course of a season. So, sure, not all teams are realistically a contender for playoffs, but you have a lot of teams who are very good on at least one map. You know, they have that one map they're very good on, and if because of the matchup they can get it, that's when they can pull off an upset. So, that was Overpass for HellRaisers versus North. But now they're in a very, very difficult situation. Not a lot of utility left, 3 FAMASes. And they have Voxic a bit aggressive towards mid, got some info, but North is going to go towards that B bomb site. They only have conflict on the late lurk.
They only have a flash left on North, but it doesn't seem to matter too much. They're pretty far out already, forcing HellRaisers quite passive to this point. Now, MSL's out. He's going to start working out with that bomb, but he goes in very alone. I'm kind of maybe expecting Cbble to be able to get more into this one, but Issa finding two. Woxic chimes in. You said he got aggressive early. He's found his place now, and this felt very disjointed from North. We're starting to sing their praises. I was starting to get ready to throw back to the analysis desk, but no. Apparently, HellRaisers aren't done yet. They want to close the game here. And bear in mind, clean games win you more points in this. You don't want to get towards overtime if you're North. You want that clean victory.
True, it did seem maybe the communication was off point. Maybe the players didn't really understand what MSL wanted. Yes, they only had one flash, but they had control of both B platform and drop. And if you have that, there are not that many places where the CTs can hide. So just with good timing on that push, even without any utility, you can still get the favorable trade kills. And that's what seemed that went wrong for North. MSL going in, the rest of his team not really following up, and that allowed Issa to just focus on drop, get a triple kill there with the UMP, and completely halt the push from the Danes.
All right, North now. Being reminded, it's not all sunshine, rainbows, and all that jazz. You got to work for this. You got to make it count.
Definitely not for the Danes. It's raining here all the time. I thought London was bad. Copenhagen rains even more. Cloudy all the time.
Stop complaining. I like a bit of the rain. I felt at home, finally. Valde, though, going to turn this situation into his favor. Not raining in much of the water, but frags will certainly do for him. MSL as well, finding room to work. This is just proving a point. Look at the aggression coming out. There's one player trying to keep cards close to chest over by Long, but he's playing out that smoke. And yeah, Config's having none of that, is he? Just walks out like, nah, you guys are done. Dead Fox has to watch as his team falls. And now, with 4 players in his way, it looks as though this is it. North will close out the game and look good doing so. It all fell into place on that T side, Janko. It all started to look pretty darn good for them there. A couple of here and there moments. They're a bit of a hiccup, but at the end of the day, they lock it down. I
think the game was a bit closer than maybe the score itself shows. HellRaisers had a couple of great rounds, but, you know, that anti-eco loss in the first half, AZ with the USP, and also the second pistol. If they win those 2 rounds, this is a much closer game. At least, perhaps, HellRaisers can even come out on top, but that's usually how it goes with these underdog teams, right? They have a couple of great rounds, but then they make some obvious blunders and the favorites punish them.
Well, that's seemingly what happened, but let's see what the desk has to say as we're going to head over to those guys and find out their thoughts on this matchup.
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. North answer back with a 16-9 win. Much better stuff coming out of the guys there. There are a few times, though, I think we're all sitting there thinking, this looks interesting. 8-8 at one point.
Yeah, have they gone berserk? Was my initial thought. What was going on? I don't know if it went Tilt City for North in the early parts where they won the pistol, they lose the second round, and then we see some really weird decision-making from North. You have players playing up and drop, for example, pushing in situations where it really made no sense whatsoever, even in an even number situation, or having a man advantage. So, yeah, well, they've at least they buckled it down on the T side.
Yeah, that CT side was a little bit shaky, and then even when we got over to the T side, Cajun had to have that massive pistol round to even get them that on the board. And I think the fact that North were able to be a little bit more convincing on the T sides in both maps, right? It just shows that on the CT sides, if you're disjointed, if your communication's off for a night, that's where you can have problems. With the strats, they look well prepared, and this is what we saw in Malmo. You know, the fact that they had a game plan, and we saw that once again here. The only concerning factor for me, and it's one that I definitely don't think it's going to return anytime soon, is Config having a poor game. That's something we haven't seen in a very long time, and the fact that it's online Counter-Strike versus a team that we think that they should be absolutely drubbing, it's just it's just a missed chance for him to pad his stats.
He just did so much carrying in Malmo.
Yeah, his back's too sore.
Yeah, he needed to have an off night, you know.
He wants to have a break.
It's only fair.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at the opposing side, though, another player, Issa, 21-19, still topping the charts for his team, and kind of saying before when we looked at these 2 new players on HellRaiser, they're kind of showing that there's potential there, and we could see good things in the future.
They can headshot, right?
That helps, doesn't it?
That always helps.
Yeah, no, I mean, in the big picture, they got to be. I think they should be positively happy with how this matchup went. You know, winning a map first of all. They're really struggling to get anything really going on this league, and their goal right now is just to stay in the league. So, you know, I think in the big picture, still they got to be happy. That cobblestone match, you know, just because of how the first half went, they had their opportunities. but they were never. I don't think they were ever really in the contention of winning.
Yeah, there's a few rounds that were a little bit closer than they probably not should have been, but they could have made the game closer. Obviously, if they got that pistol, if they didn't let Cage and clutch, then that could have easily spiraled into them having the first 3, then the first gun rounds looking likely, and from there it could have been much more competitive. But good things by North. I'm glad they recovered in the terms of their kind of marching towards the finals here in Denmark.
Yeah.
Just really quick for them before we do go to a break. We are going to actually see HellRaisers in action again tomorrow, this time up against NIP. It's going to be on Inferno and Train. Any potential thoughts? They've had a good night,
I mean, Inferno hasn't really been a strong map for NIP, has it? They've struggled on it a lot, so you could see an opportunity there for HellRaisers. You never know, but for them, it's just a matter of getting positive games going, and therefore they're going to build some chemistry as a unit.
Yeah, and a hungry NIP still, in the sense of with Rez and Drake, are still relatively new into this team. They're going to be more than prepared for this squad, and I think they'll take them more seriously now they've seen HellRaisers take a map from North. So we're going to be closer than I expected. I just expected HellRaisers to not be putting up much of a fight against anyone, but they've shown they've got some fight in them.
Well, we'll see how that one pans out tomorrow. For now, we're going to go to a very, very short break. But when we return, Astralis are going to be taking on Godsent into best of ones. Don't go anywhere. See you in a second.